Hello, and welcome back to the Miscellaneous Debris Podcast with me, your host, the Mad Chatter, Ryan M.K. Thank you once again for joining. Please do follow on the Twitters at RMK Madness. Same with the Grams, yes. And you can see the video version of the pod, which some of you may be watching, on the tubes. That's right, on the tubes. So, hope everyone had a wonderful week. I had intended on getting a late week pod out last week, Friday-ish, but it just didn't happen. Too much craziness with work and Halloween, and my mother was here for a few days. It was insane. So, been a bit of a busy one in the, Madhouse MK. So, I hope all of you have not been quite as busy as me, but hey, I was excited for Halloween. I love the candy. I love the costumes, but there's no kidding anybody. It was different, man. Like I had to work. And, full disclosure, I work currently as a delivery driver, a pizza delivery driver, okay? Now, I have over 20 years in the restaurant industry. I've done it all. I really have no desire to get into management ever again because I really don't want to have to kill myself because that's what some of those jobs make you want to do. So I'm currently doing the pizza delivery thing, which is fine. It works for now, and it's interesting. And Halloween was especially interesting. I had to work for a few hours that night on the All Hallows Eve, and I noticed lots of the Richie neighborhoods where you see some of them Trump signs. Lots of Halloween, like parties outside, people wandering around without masks. Save for, the Halloween variety. And, just typical shit like, this is normal Halloween. We're not going to act like it's not. And then deliver to, we'll just say, middle class, lower class types of neighborhoods, completely different. Streets are fairly deserted. There's some houses out there. They got, candy just sitting outside, but it's no big, huge celebration like in the rich neighborhoods. It was crazy. And it stinks. I wanted to come out last week, do a podcast that was partly dedicated to my love for Halloween. But that is part of it, aside from being busy, is, how great was it really going to be this year? I mean, it's not normal. Nothing's normal. Nothing is normal. This is the craziest fucking election. It's stressful and scary. Tuesday night's going to be insane. I hope you all vote, by the way. And I would say also, please do check out, also on the tubes, and you can find links for it on my Twitter. It's what I would call just a little bit of a gift for the Trumpers out there. What I call the Trumper Kit. See my Trumper Kit video. Might give you a chuckle or two. And so this is all scary. And to be honest, I've never, ever, ever been this much into politics. And really, I haven't. I always do my due diligence when it's that time, every 4 years, every 2 years for that matter, when it comes to, but I've never been so invested. The potential of different outcomes on Tuesday night, not just with who wins and who doesn't, but who reacts and how. It's a freaky thing. It really is. And maybe I'm wrong. That would be great. And everything goes smoothly. Maybe Biden just, wins in a pretty good amount and Trump doesn't say shit and we get through this and that would be great. I would be shocked. But that's the pessimism in me. I don't have a whole lot of it, so maybe that's just where it's all, focused right now is on this shit. But you got the pandemic, and clearly the White House is pretty comfortable with just letting the pandemic do its thing because they want to keep the country going. And that is going to keep, a lot of people invested in him because They want to see the country keep going. And the problem is that if we don't do something about the virus, you can say goodbye to the economy, all sorts of shit. Like if they think, I've talked about it in previous episodes of the pod, but the herd mentality idea just won't work. Not in this country. There's too many people located too closely together. Our population in itself makes it difficult because you would have to infect at least a certain percentage of the population, I believe it's 70, to hit herd immunity. And at the death rate, you're going to kill millions of people doing that. And you think you can just let that happen? Nothing's going to affect the economy, anything like that. Not to mention, how many other casualties will there be if the hospitals get overrun again? Because clearly, this White House, this administration, and it would appear maybe government in general is much more interested in making sure police and military forces are well equipped as opposed to our fucking hospitals where people have to pay fucking money a month, a shit ton of money a month for insurance to get care at these hospitals. It's just a bunch of shit that this whole thing, it's a vicious cycle. We talked about it before. People just still don't get it about any of this. Even while we're hitting daily cases or daily records in COVID cases, like how is this not? I don't get it. And then they'll point to, oh yeah, look at Europe and look at what's happening over there. Yeah, but they also had a huge period of time where they didn't have shit going on because they did their part. Now it's coming back. It just, some of them will say, I've heard that, I've seen this on Twitter. Well, we learned to live with the flu. We're just going to have to learn to live with COVID. We learned to live with the flu because there's a fucking vaccine. If you look into the history, research vaccines. The reason we don't have flu all year round, that we have a flu season, is because of vaccines. The reason we can live with the flu is because of vaccines. We don't have one of those for COVID yet, so we can't just live with it. I am sorry. Particularly during flu season. And, this time around, it could have mutated to something deadlier. We don't know yet. We don't know. At the moment, it doesn't seem like deaths are that bad, but you got to give it time. Now that we have this record number of cases, where are the deaths going to be at in a couple of weeks? It just blows my mind. Hey, stay safe, Could be a bit of a dark winter, as some scientists and medical experts have suggested, just based on how we've handled this so far.
No!
Just wanted to get a sound effect in there. I know, no. I mean, 2020's been a shit show with everything that's already happened. Hopefully Tuesday doesn't make it worse. And then this weekend we lost Sean Connery. Now, he was an old dude, and it sounds like he was suffering from a lot of stuff, and it was his time. And, but it stinks. Sean Connery taken out in 2020. Many will remember him as, the legendary James Bond. And while I do know him from that, I'll be honest, full disclosure, not big on the James Bond myself. That's just me, though. Sorry. But it's been a shit show. Sean Connery's gone. Oh, wait. How did I get into that? Back to what I was... See, we're getting this all messed up already. Sean Connery, to me, yes, Bond. But also, excuse me, also from The Rock. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. Me and my brothers used to watch this nonstop. We had this thing, and really I carried it into adulthood, but it was basically, you just get hooked on a movie and you watch it over and over and over. I did that many nights in my drinking career. Drinking, passing out on the couch. I'd just pick a movie and it'd be several nights in a row. Weeks. Sin City. I remember that being one. That's a good one. But we did this as kids, so maybe it's just habit. But The Rock was one of them. We used to love that movie. And I know Nicolas Cage is fucking gone off the deep end. Whoa. But he was great in that movie. And Sean Connery was just, they were a great duo. And I'll love that movie. Love it, love it, love it. And so we will miss Sean Connery. And now with Halloween past, we head into, just before I fucking was about to record, I saw on the TV, they're already it was a Christmas startup movie marathon or something. Like, give us a fucking break. Wait till after Thanksgiving. Are we just skipping over Thanksgiving? That's one of my favorite holidays. Fucking turkey, potatoes, gravy, the food, and the football. This is fucking my kind of day. I just sit around and get high, eat lots of turkeys, and watch lots of football. And we usually do something, pretty close, just us, for Thanksgiving and Christmas. So it won't be a drastic change, but this is gonna be abnormal. The rest of really, with the pandemic, it's gonna be strange just until we get a vaccine. At least until we get a vaccine, I should say. And then again, we'll see what happens Tuesday. It's just to think we could have been in a better spot with all of this. But we'll cope. And hey, Halloween was different, but I know we still had fun. We did like a Halloween party. The kids had a blast. They won prizes and games and got lots of candy, won lots of candy. Like, they had a great time. Was it your normal Halloween where they got to go trick-or-treating? No, because we weren't even going to try or risk it based on our situation. So, abnormal, but still a blast. And it got me thinking. There's a lot of Halloween stuff that I do love. Jesus, that was loud. And, the costumes is probably my favorite part. Like, I'm not going to lie. If I had the money, the time, all of that, to dress and go to comic book conventions, I would. I probably would. But I don't. So I really get excited for Halloween once a year where I can deck out and really dress up. I've had some really good costumes. I went as the main character from Clockwork Orange one year. As a matter of fact, me and my buddies and the girlfriend I had at the time, we always used to go to this one party house. It was a bunch of college kids, and they had like this big, huge-ass house, like kind of out on the countryside, and it was like 4 or 5 of them, and they went to the community college that was kind of out on the countryside, and so they shared rent there, and they would always have parties, and we would go to them occasionally throughout the year, not very often, but we always went to the Halloween one because it was fucking nuts. They would have one room set up, and it was a musician dude, so he'd have all his stuff out to jam, so you'd be sitting there watching Edward Scissorhands playing guitar. It was just great stuff. Speaking of Edward Scissorhands, my Clockwork Orange outfit was the hit of that particular Halloween party, and there's always a contest winner, right? I had that shit in the bag until fucking Edward Scissorhands showed up. Damn it, motherfucker. I've gone as a female a couple of different times. That's right, you wouldn't be able to tell with this, but if this was all gone, I'm quite baby-faced, and so it can work, oddly. And what else did I go? I made my own not professional, why am I saying professional? My own handcrafted Bane mask, which I guess I was going to say, but better than going on eBay and spending like $100. Like, this thing is fucking awesome. And so I was Bane one year. I've been Wolverine. I remember back in the day, because I make all my costumes now. That's what it entices me about. Why can't I think of the fucking word? The people who dress up and go to the convention stuff show that do the really good shit. I can't think of what it's called. There's a show about it and everything. Sure, somebody will yell at me on Twitter. Anyway, I really do like that stuff, and I'd probably do it if I had the time. But instead, I'm doing it on Halloween, like I said. And I spend a lot of time making these things, and I do it for the kids too. The year I went as Wolverine, whole family. The wife was Storm. The kids were Cyclops, and his baby Cyclops, because that was when he was a baby. What the hell was Draven? I don't even remember. I don't know. I know that sounds terrible, but I can picture the picture in my head, but I can't remember what the hell he was wearing. It's crazy. Anyway, but I was Wolverine, just shaved off this, and I had the chops going and everything. So, Two-Face, I've done a lot of Batman stuff, honestly. And so I love that stuff. I love the movies. Oh, movies. This year, we particularly got the boys interested in some of the old school stuff. Ernest Scared Stupid, always one of my favorites as a kid. The Monster Squad, Hocus Pocus is a great one. You got to watch that one every year. The Nightmare Before Christmas. We watch that a handful of times every year. That is, and it still holds up. It's fucking amazing. You see Jack right in the background if you're watching on the tubes. If you're not, I got a giant Jack, and he's in the corner in the background behind me. You could see him on the tubes for the pod listeners. Just trying to explain some of the visual. And yes, that movie is just I don't think you get a better movie than that one. Candy, you can't go wrong with the candy. It's funny how as parents you do this candy tax thing. I remember my mom doing it to me, and I do it to my kids, and then when you're kids, yeah, you got to give that candy tax, and that always sucks. But one of the best parts that I always had was whoever went trick or treating with, we'd sit down after and we'd trade, because inevitably there would be a friend that would always like the gross candy that I didn't like, and I would trade for the good candy. And then you got your brothers. So if you got any more gross candy, you can try and pawn them off on him. Like, here, I'll give you 4 gross candies for 1 good candy. Like, that's a good deal. Oh, scam artist. So, I love Halloween, man. Haunted houses. I haven't been to one in a while. I'm going to be honest. But I miss the shit out of those. Growing up here in Colorado, I remember at a particular mall they used to have one every year, and they did some pretty crazy shit. I remember one year we got chased down the hall by an alien, like from the Aliens movies, And then you get on this elevator, and the doors open at one spot, and T-1000's there trying to get you. And then the doors close, and the elevator acts like it's falling. I mean, it was a blast. It was a crazy-ass haunted house. But I've been to some pretty spooky ones, too. And I haven't been in a few years, though. I need to get back to it. I mean, Halloween has really slowly morphed over the years, because I remember when me and my friends, we used to be out for hours into the night, because we would just wait until all the lights were off at the houses, because a lot of people would just leave it on and still be passing out candy till like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. We used to do that shit. We used to fill up pillowcases, bring it home, dump it out, grab another one. And it just was crazy. And then, you start having kids, and it's like this 2-hour thing, at least where I've lived in both the Midwest and here in Colorado. It's like this, yeah, like 6 to 8 o'clock is when we're trick-or-treating, and like, it's weird. It's slowly morphed, But it's still a joy to me, still a joy to many, I imagine. And I hope everyone had a happy Halloween. I know we had a pretty good one. So, with that being said, let's wrap this up and get right into some more election talk, with, that coming up in well, less than 24 hours, right? By the time you're listening to this, we're going to be like 24 hours away. So let's get into the Trump dump.
You suck, you jackass.
That is right. You know who's talking about around here. So, Election day. 'Tis tomorrow. And I'm not going to lie. Like I said, nervous and anxious. I've really never felt this way because I've never cared this fucking much. I mean, that first Obama one, I cared quite a bit. I'll be honest. I was kind of pumped for that one because I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's do this. Let's get us a fucking black dude in the White House. Let's do this shit. So I was pretty pumped for that one. But I've never felt anything like this because I'm not super pumped about Biden. But I'm afraid of what another 4 years of Trump will do. I mean, even if you think he's not going to pull any crazy shit like I've mentioned, and I never said it was going to happen, just that it was possible, and even if he doesn't pull any crazy type shit, he's still going to keep doing the things he does and making the moves that he does. And in essence, none of that's good for the planet because he thinks global warming and climate change is a crock of shit. So really, our planet can afford another 4 years of Trump, but people seem to want to go, the Trumpers, they seem to want to go way back in time. It's this country, blacks are becoming more powerful. There's more minorities, and it's almost like there's a chunk of white people that are just afraid of losing the power that their skin color brings. Maybe I don't care because I've never been so privileged. But again, I know there's still ways, even with this poor ass little old white boy, that I've gotten away with things that a black man probably wouldn't have. Or at least situations could have been worse had my skin color been different. And that is a stunning realization. And then you see that even more privileged white people just dismiss that shit. And it's sickening. And that's a lot of the people that are attracted to Trump. And again, another 4 years of that is scary. It's disheartening. And then you see Lil Wayne joining Ice Cube in the support for the president because, he's agreed to do this platinum plan thing of yours? So you're going to work with... Okay. So, according to him, there's no racism in this country. He's already said that. He doesn't believe that shit exists. And so you think he's going to work with you on something that helps solve that? Because he also is working on taking certain programs that, combat racism out of federal jobs. There's a lot of shit that he's doing that doesn't necessarily line up with black values. And yet, some prominent black people are just, they're believing this shit? Am I missing something? What the fuck is going on here? Because it sounds to me like they're getting played. Like they're being suckers. Because if he gets another 4 years, is he really going to do what he says he's going to do? And put a shit ton of money into the black community? Wasn't he just not too long ago wondering, and worrying that, oh no, the suburbs are getting invaded by who? It just, what he says now doesn't add up to what he's been saying. And it seems like more of, it's like Puerto Rico. This entire time, no disaster relief. Gets close enough to the election, here's some disaster relief for you. He's only going to do something for you if it benefits him. He just doesn't give a fuck. I mean, he's flying the Blue Lives Matter flag at his rallies. But the shitty thing is, Joe Biden's really not taking advantage and doing enough to help his campaign. And that's a little bit unnerving too. Because really, what we needed in this election was somebody who was going to come out and smoke the fuck out of Trump. And we're just not going to get that with Biden, I don't think. Which means we could be in for some shit come Tuesday if it's close enough. And this is, I mean, he doesn't give a shit about it. He's going to do something for people if it benefits them. These Trump rallies, one in Nebraska, freezing weather. So many people were fucking left out because the shuttles didn't come back. And 30 people went to the hospital. Then in Florida, it was the heat that was bad. Another 10 people went to the hospital because of those shuttles. And you know what's happening? The Trump campaign isn't paying the fucking shuttle companies, so they're like, well, fuck you. I just... seems like there's a chunk of the country that's just shitty. And there's a chunk of the country that's blind to what's going on, ignorant. And the rest of us are standing here going, what the fuck? What are we going to do? Well, if Trump loses, is he going to accept? I hope so. Otherwise, this could be a rough period of time. But if he wins, I mean, how far past Tuesday does all of this go? Because it's not just about 4 more years of Trump. You know he'll push to run again in 2020 if he wins again. I just... Again, it's all a little bit crazy and a little bit disheartening. And you just have to hope there's enough of us out there that do see what's going on, that we can make a big enough difference with the votes throughout all the suppression, because there is a shit ton of it, that we can make this change, make this happen. Damn their voter suppression. Because it is out there. Threats from right-wing extremist groups that are sending threats to known Democrats. There's, all the stuff with the fucking postal service, and you hear about, I've been reading tons of stuff, Reddit, Twitter, about just little things in certain areas, counties, states, where things are being done to make it difficult to vote. And you just wonder how so many of them cannot realize that the whole world laughs at us right now. And that it's largely because of their leader, their God, because they view him as a God. I also saw something on Twitter where it showed a picture of a terrorist group and how they behave. And then you compare it to Trump's fans. The driving, the parading, the motorcades with the fucking flags. The way they're armed. The way they hold up their Bible. Not all that different than, the Taliban. But they wouldn't see it. I don't know. America, the United States of America, US of A. Let's hope we can turn this shit around, huh? Let's hope we can turn this shit around so that it doesn't go any longer or much longer past Tuesday. Otherwise, what the fuck? I keep saying, I would just go to fucking Canada because they got legal weed there now. That was the one thing. I was like, but I'm in Colorado. We got legal weed. Oh, Canada has it now? I'm down. Except for, we can't fucking go anywhere. Nobody wants us anywhere. Not even the good ones. And I don't blame them. Can you really blame them? How do they know if you're one of the good ones? I would love to go to Canada. They just won't have us yet. And fuck all. They may never now. We'll find a way. We will push through. Yes, we will. Yes.
May I please have your attention? The store will be closing in 5 minutes.
That is right. That is right. It's about that time. About that closing time. Wrap this tea party up, right? But before we go, did want to point out a few things so we don't end on the depressing, Trump election stuff, because I know I'm not the only one out there feeling anxiety about all of this. How can you not? Especially, think about 4 years ago. A lot of people thought Hillary was going to win. It looked like Hillary was going to win, and then she didn't. And so there's got to be a little fear there, too, because sure, it seems like Biden has a pretty good chance to win, but who the fuck knows? Who the fuck truly knows? We will find out. We will find out. It's not that far away. It's nearly here. But we don't want to end on that. No. We should end on fun talk. Yes, so BattleBots. That's what I want to... Now, if you've never seen BattleBots, I would say go check some of this stuff out. A lot of it, you can be seen like... I have Xfinity here in Colorado. We have it on demand for free the last couple of seasons. And you can go back and watch some of this stuff. It's great. And obviously, it's going to be different because they did the recording with no fans. Okay. And I'm sure they're going to have masks and stuff. It'll be interesting to see if they put masks on the robots or anything interesting and funny like that. So we'll see. But the new season should be coming to television before too long. So keep an eye out for it. Because you're going to need stuff to watch. I promise. Because this winter is going to suck. And that being said, welcome to November. Again, I'm already seeing all this Christmas stuff. But fucking can we not do that? Can we just well, first of all, let's get through the election, okay? And then let's get ready for Thanksgiving. Like I said, I love me some Thanksgiving. And it's not that I have anything against Christmas. I love Christmas for the simple fact that I enjoy watching my kids on Christmas morning, the joy they have. That's fun. That's awesome to see. But for me, personally, Halloween, which is now over, and was not normal, and Thanksgiving, which, because of the way we do things, is not going to be too much different this year, so I can just enjoy Thanksgiving as normal, unless they cancel all the football Thanksgiving Day games. There, got that out finally. If they cancel all those games, then it won't be normal, but if I've got football, and I've got my immediate family, and a turkey dinner, I will be just fine. Yes, I will. And again, don't forget to check out my Trumper Kit video under my account on the tubes. I got links for it on Twitter at RMK Madness. Same with the gram. And yes, say hi to Jack. Say bye to Jack. Podcasters can't see. Again, that's Jack hanging out in the background. And I don't know. It's definitely gonna be weird how the rest of this year plays out, but let's just try and enjoy whatever we can. We're still getting football, and boy, was it a crazy fucking weekend of football, which, by the way, if you're into that, particularly fantasy football, please check out my Fantasy Madness podcast, which you can find everywhere you can find this one. And we'll have to see how it goes. I mean, you got other sports leagues talking about coming back in late December, January. It's like, man, we'll see where everything is at. But this winter, especially in the States like here in Colorado where we're not warm all year round, I will say, there's going to be a lot of time spent inside. So we're going to need stuffs to watch, right? We're going to need stuffs to watch. So we're going to have to get into some of that on the next pod. A little discussion of like late 2020, early 2021 stuffs to watch on TV, whether it's movies, shows, whatever, game shows, I don't care. We'll chat about what's coming up on the television the rest of the year and early into next year because, again, see what happens this winter, but I know me, I'm going to stay inside as much as fucking possible, which I guess isn't that much different than most winters, right? So once again, I bid you adieu. I do. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know why that song always gets stuck in my fucking head. It's really fucking weird. Anyway, as always, as I've been trying to get to this wrapping up of our tea party here, Please vote if you haven't. All right. And let's get through it. Tomorrow's a big day, right? Big day. And, again, let's look forward. Now that Halloween is out the way, let's look forward to Thanksgiving. Not to Christmas. Thanksgiving. Yes. Turkey and football. Give me that. Which will also be rather normal for me because it's usually just me, the wife, and the kids. So, we move on. As always, much love to you all. Much love. Do not forget to follow me on the Twitters, on the Grams, at RMK Madness. I appreciate every single one of you. Stay safe, stay vigilant, stay mad, because you know, all the best of us are. Yes. Peace out. Ta-ta for now. Later. Woo. Come on, Biden. Motherfucker. Take this shit home.